Hello, my name is Tim, my company is Sports and Touring, and we are Jaguar F-Type specialists. It's a real pleasure to have this car here with us at Trinley. It's a V6S coupe in rhodium silver, bright, shining silver, with black pack, panoramic roof, and sitting on freshly factory refurbished 19-inch centrifuge wheels in gloss black. It's a real statement in black and silver. It's in fabulous condition with a great range of extra cost options and super low mileage. Let's take a look around the car. One of the lovely things about the F-Type is how different colour palettes produce such different looking cars when underneath the form, the shape, is just the same. Look for a moment at this rhodium silver car and the ultra blue one behind it, and they almost look like different vehicles, don't they? The colour is so important on an F-Type. Some look very dynamic, very aggressive. Some look very steady, very staid. And some are enigmatic, cool, beautiful, no doubt, understated and yet at the same time quite capable of taking centre stage. And rhodium silver with black pack and panoramic roof and gloss black alloy wheels is definitely one of those combinations. And then the condition this car is in. As always, we're very fussy indeed about the vehicles we stock here at Sports and Touring. They have to reach a very high standard to make it onto our stock list. The paint is very, very fine. No unpleasant swirl marks. It's extremely clean. Very few signs indeed that this isn't a much, much newer car. It's clearly been very well cared for. The mileage, the history, the condition all tell us that it hasn't been a daily driver. It has been someone's cherished weekend car. Inside and out, in very fine condition. Great service history too, and it's passed all of our inspections and tests without any issue. We drive all of the vehicles that we stock a considerable distance before we list them to make sure that any little niggles have been ironed out, and this car is in splendid condition throughout. It's got a range of great options too. Let's take a look at some of those as we go inside. The car's supplied, of course, with 2 remote key fobs and the original owner's book pack. But there's no need to have the fob in your hand because one of the extra cost options is keyless entry. Just tap the button, the door handle deploys, and we can look into this beautiful cockpit. Starting our appraisal with the door card, which is in perfect order, unblemished and unmarked. We can see the badge there, which tells us this car has the extra cost Meridian sound system. Again, the scuff plate there is in perfect order. And these beautiful performance seats, the wingback seats in jet with jet stitching, are in fabulous condition too. No wear, no marking here on the sides of the bolsters where you might expect to see it on a car which has been less well maintained. We'll sit down into the cockpit, and it's always an experience of immersing in a mix of artistry and technology. Beautiful artistic compound curves, for example, like the sweep here of the handle, and technology with ergonomics so very well sorted. No problems at all driving an F-Type, wondering how to get it to do a particular thing. Everything is very well designed indeed. Above us, the beautiful panoramic sunroof, a huge area of glass, and with its useful sun blind in case it gets a little too hot in the summer. Between the headrests, we've got a useful stowage cubbyhole there. Another stowage here under the armrest with the CD player, 12-volt socket, USB socket, and a mini jack for the audio system. Forward of that, the twin cup holder with the extra little space in the middle there for a small drinks can. And to explore onwards, we're going to start up the supercharged V6. Now, this car has a ghost immobiliser fitted to it. That's a security device, and it works by switching the car on, and then we make a sequence of movements on controls on the steering wheel. Obviously, I'm not showing you what those are, and they enable us to start the car up like so. The instrument binnacle lights up. You can see it's illuminated red. That means we've started up in dynamic mode. By the way, that tells us this car hasn't had the software update, which quietens the exhaust. And we can see that the centre air vent has risen up correctly into its operating position. Back down here to the centre console, and we've got the 4 buttons at the back here for eco stop start, the manual spoiler deployment, the traction control on off, and the switched active sports exhaust. That's on because it comes on automatically in dynamic mode. And exploring the driving mode selector a little more, if we come out of dynamic mode into normal mode there, and we can then go into rain, ice and snow mode. And just to say a little more about dynamic mode in the V6S, so it changes the throttle mapping, gearbox mapping, suspension setup, steering and a couple of other things to give you a more dynamic, more sporty, more tutti-frutti driving experience behind the wheel. Onto the climate control here, and we've got the temperature selectors, of course, with electrically heated seats in this F-Type, auto air conditioning and recirc, and over here the screen heating, including the electrically heated front windscreen, very valuable in the winter when you get ice and mist on the windscreen. Onto the infotainment screen, very fully featured, starting with the audio inputs. We've got FM and AM radio, DAB. The My Music option brings up the CD player, Bluetooth and so forth. And we've got all of our channels down here as well. Back to the home page, and the navigation is very clear, very crisp, very concise, very easy to use. People tell me that they find it a great help when they're relying on sat-nav to get from A to B. We've got a button to adjust the climate system, so you can direct the airflow where you wish it to be. And then we've got a button for the parking sensors, so that if you're driving forwards into a parking space, you can activate those. They normally activate automatically when you go into reverse. Another button which switches between modes on the audio system. This leads us to the Bluetooth telephony, and that again takes us to the audio video, and that's a button which takes us directly again to the navigation screen. Over on the steering wheel, the left thumb buttons are for the infotainment system and the Bluetooth telephony. We've got the flappy paddles, of course, automatic headlamps. Over on the right hand side, cruise control with active speed limiter, and the rain sensitive wipers as well. It's a beautiful cockpit, and again in absolutely brilliant condition. No blemishes, no marks, nothing unpleasant, no funny odours to remark upon. This car has been very well looked after indeed. We'll switch off the V6 and take a look in the boot. As I say, this is a very fully featured F-Type, and one of those extra cost options is the powered tailgate, so a button push on the key fob or on the tailgate itself, and it lifts up out of the way, revealing this very big boot for a 2-seat coupe. 310 litres of space, plenty of room for a lot of baggage. If you're into golf or fishing, you'll discover that the boot extends right out to the sides behind the rear wheel arches, and therefore you can get those long golf clubs or fishing rods. Or we had some people the other day who do a bit of archery, and they said that would be a useful place to stow some of their kit. Again, all in perfect order, no unpleasant marks on the carpet, upholstery and so on, and everything working as it should, with just a button push again to close the powered tailgate. And as you hear, it locks itself finally in position there. This car has 2-stage locking enabled, so although it's unlocked at the moment, we need a second button push to unlock the passenger side. And we can then take a look at this side of the cockpit and see the door card is in fabulous order. The scuff plate again, pretty well perfect. The dashboard, centre console, carpets, and again this beautiful performance seat in jet leather, exactly as it should be. Under the bonnet, and there's the plastic cover on top of the supercharger, on top of the 90-degree V6 3-litre engine, which is producing 380 horsepower and powers this F-Type through the 8-speed ZF gearbox from 0 to 60 in just 5.1 seconds, and on to a top speed which is artificially limited at 171 miles per hour. Make no mistake, this is a very serious sports car. Everything again, as you see, is in very fine condition. No signs of anything amiss under the bonnet here. Everything is in good order. Great service history with this car as well. It's driving perfectly. It's been through our inspections without a hitch, and it is ready to delight its next owner. So thank you very much indeed for watching. It's been a great pleasure to show you this beautiful F-Type. We are Sports and Touring. We're just outside Andover in Hampshire, open 7 days a week by appointment only. You're very welcome to telephone, email or WhatsApp with any queries, or if you'd like to come and see this car in person or see it by video call. We can send you a link to the Google Drive. That's our online folder with higher resolution photographs which you can zoom in on, and PDF copies of important documents about the car. If you've got a car to dispose of on your buying journey, we'll give you frank and honest advice about the best way to achieve the maximum value with the minimum inconvenience. And if you'd like to chat about finance, we can do that as well. We're authorised and regulated by the FCA. Do please take a few moments to read our reviews in Auto Trader. I am very proud indeed of the things our previous customers say about us. And I'll close by saying thank you again. Please feel free to like and subscribe. Our contact details are coming up in just a moment, and we do look forward to hearing from you very soon indeed.